So this is my room for the next week, or around a week. So it is Monday the 15th of June, and our housing association finally got round to fixing our bathroom after it was condemned about 15 years ago and has been having tiles fall off, loads of problems, including like the whole radiator rusted, and just a ridiculous amount of problems over, like I said, 15 years. It is finally getting sorted, but because our upstairs bathroom, the bath doesn't work, that broke about 2 or 3 years ago, and they had to essentially cut off the water to the bath because it wouldn't stop leaking. So we didn't have a bathroom, so that combined with my mum being allergic to all the glues and that they have to use, we are staying in a hotel for, well, originally it was meant to be 14 days, but for some reason they've only booked the hotel for Monday, and then we're checking out next Monday, so about a week. But I decided it is still where I live. We are literally, I think, about, depending on traffic, anywhere from 15 to half an hour drive from our house. So we can go and pick stuff up if we absolutely need to. But I wanted to try and have the entire 2 weeks worth of stuff just here for whenever. So let's get the incredibly mundane of the bed. Yes, everything is a mess, mostly because we didn't check in to, well, I couldn't check into my room until 3 o'clock, and we decided to make it easier. We were going to go and have an early dinner as soon as I could check in, so we ended up at a Harvester. I think it was about 4:45, but we hadn't eaten all day, and I haven't been feeling very well, so I haven't eaten much the last few days anyway, so that was nice. Got back, and despite it now being, I think it's about 6:30, we still have a ridiculous amount of sunlight. So yeah, I've decided to spend this week as a little bit of a holiday, so I have a very nice selection. So I've got 6 books here, and that's 1 and 2 books. Those are more for my mum, but I've got some other books. I have started trying to read this book 4 times now. I have reread chapter 1 every time. My fault is I keep starting it every time when I am sick, so my brain doesn't really process it, and then when I start feeling better I have to start rereading it. So I will be trying to read at least a couple of chapters of this book. I got this for Christmas. This, if you've seen my Comic-Con haul, I managed to get at Comic-Con from a seller. And then this is just a quick little novel that I got from Forbidden Planet a little while ago to read. So I have, like I said, bought with me a load of my supplies. So this is all sewing stuff. I have bought my Sleeping Beauty dress, the overskirt, which if you've seen post is already very ridiculously beaded, but I wanted to do a lot more to it, so I thought this was a chance to do that to one skirt. I have brought one of the House of the Dragon costumes I made, which I've been making a lot of changes to. I completely redid and changed the sleeves. I'm going to be taking the front panel of the skirt off and completely remaking it so it's a dress with an underskirt, mostly because it was very awkward to walk in. And I've also, which is over on the hook in that white dress bag, brought Emily with me. I couldn't find the exact silver beads that I had wanted to use, that I've already used on the bodice, but I found some white pearls and some different blue beads, as well as that. So I'm going to be using the blue beads on Emily and Slim Beauty, and then I have a collection of different red beads for House of the Dragon, as well as gold, silver and red embroidery thread. That I have brought with me this in case I do any filming for Pokemon stuff. I have brought all my Ascended Hero cards with me. Oh no, not all. My original load. I think I've still got the last load from an opening video I did and my latest opening. So probably at least 100 cards, if not, that are completely separate, but they aren't at all organised. If need be, can go back and get them. But so I have brought my laptop to do some editing. I've got 2 different A3 sketch pads, notebook and art set, diamond painting, which I might get to, and mini diamond painting. And then I have got some sketchbooks as well, because the weather is meant to be really nice, as in 25 degrees this week. I thought, since I am actually right by the seafront, which I don't know that you can't see properly, but literally right there behind the tree is the ocean, and about a 2-minute walk up the road is a park, which is very huge, that has a pond and everything. So I thought this would be a nice chance to get back into sketching. I have always really loved art. I have a GCSE for art, and unfortunately when I started more interested in my cosplaying or sewing, as well as going to uni to get an history and archaeology degree, sketching was unfortunately something I did not have time for anymore. And it has actually been about, I want to say 8 or 9 years since I have actually properly sat down and tried to draw or paint anything. I have still bought, like with this sketch right here, I've got Spectrum Noir, the Harry Potter, and I actually have this one, which is Magical Companions. I have a different Harry Potter one, and I also have the Harley Quinn one. Now I've done things like adult colouring books and that, those I use to help reduce stress, but I decided that since I'm going to be here, unfortunately where I live, the closest place that has nice parks and that is about half an hour walk or so, which is actually probably here where I'm going. The park tomorrow is probably the closest to my house, and like I said, it is at least half an hour walk, if not more. I am aiming hopefully to go to London when the football season starts. My parents go to their football matches. I tend to, because they drive up, because my mum's in a wheelchair, I tend to go up with them, and I will take a train into London to do stuff. And I've decided that I'm going to go to some parks or go to some of the botanical gardens. So yeah, this is going to be where I am for the next week. I have also got my PlayStation and my Switch with me, just to be completely entertained, because I am, like I said, going to be in this room for a while. My mum is 2 doors over with my dad, but obviously I'm going to be in a separate room, and I don't spend 24/7 with my parents anyway, even though we live together. I do spend a lot of time in my room sewing, so I've decided to do this. So I am going to finish here. Going to see if there's any more stuff I need to start organising and put away. I've got a video to edit and post for today. And depending on how quickly it goes, I might try and get tomorrow's done as well. And then I might spend the rest of my evening doing some hand sewing. Oh, I forgot. I also brought my Lady Jessica cosplay, the top. I now have the whole top sewn together. So I'm currently working on the sleeves. So that is cool. So yeah, I'm going to do either a mix of Jessica and Slim Beauty or one or the other. And then this evening possibly go on my PlayStation for a little while. I've really been into playing Call of Duty online for a while now. But I also brought Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, DVD and Hogwarts Legacy. Now I have platinumed, completed 100% Hogwarts Legacy, but I've still got, obviously, it is such an open world game, I'm very happy to just sit there and play again. So, I said that is everything for today's video. Possibly I might do some more filming for it later. We'll see how it goes. So I will see everybody later. Hey, so we are back. It is Tuesday about mid-morning now, and I ended up getting nothing done last night because soon after I started filming, I don't know if I said it in the last bit, I only had 2 hours sleep Sunday night for Monday, and I literally just ended up crashing. So I had some stomach pains as well during the night, so I didn't sleep well. Bed was actually really comfy, so that was cool. But obviously that I've had, as like a brunch kind of thing, I actually had some donuts from a little donut place down the road. So, and that. I'm not sure if I'm going to have any lunch. See how I feel, but I have cleared my desk because obviously during the night I put all of this on the windowsill on there. I'm going to try and get some sewing done. I just need to obviously go through all my sewing stuff and pick what I'm going to do. So I will be back after that. Okay. So I'm back and I've set up all my project stuff. So I've got these silver and these pearls that I mentioned yesterday for Emily, along with all the silver beads, these blue ones and that. And I said I did have another silver bead, which is like a faceted diamond kind, but I can't find those when I was packing. But that's what was going over the bodice, so the rest of this is for, those are probably for the bodice, and then it's going to be a mix of like these on the probably sleeves. These are for both Emily and Sleeping Beauty, so I've put them there. But I've also, the Emily sleeves have a dark blue lining that I made purposely to peek through, so I'm going to be using a very small pair of scissors to cut out more of the paneling, which is easy to just show you. And of course the dress has fallen off the hanger, so give me a sec. Right, yep, so here we go. So yeah, these are the beads I was trying to film, which I can't, so I'll be doing that when I get home. But obviously, like I said, I want to add some more beading anyway. And then, like I said, these are the little cutout pieces, but the whole sleeve is lined. So I was planning on cutting out some more of these bits to make the blue in the sleeves more obvious. And like I said, add more beads into that for that one. So yeah, this is the House of the Dragon inspired outfit I made, and like I said, the skirt just didn't come out right. It moved very badly, so my plan is to remove the red panel. I've got some more of it and the black fabric, and I was going to cut it into strips so that the front you can see red and black alternating, because I didn't have enough red to do the full front panel of the skirt. And then it's going to be either a full skirt or just like a half front apron like that you tie on, and then the dress goes over. And because it does join right here, you would only see a little bit at the front anyway, so that's cool. And then it's got a full length, so this is actually inspired, originally the idea was by the dress that Rhaenys Targaryen wears in promo photos for season 1, right at the beginning of episode 1 at the council where they're deciding who's going to be heir. So I did change it a lot, obviously, when I added in these appliques and that, but I have a nice amount of different reds, some black, and these like diamantes that I have decided that I'm going to try on. I want to double check, I'm going to put it on and check where the sleeves hit, because I've seen a lot of patterns that you can sew onto the edge of sleeves, but depending on how low they hit depends on if I put hanging a bead pattern or just the normal beads on. But I won't be doing that now because obviously I haven't brought all the stuff for that, but I do want to try and do it because I've got literally, that is just the whole beading for the whole project. So I'm going to be adding a lot more to make it more book inspired rather than what the show had. So that's that one. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, this is, like I said, my Sleeping Beauty. This is the overskirt. And as I've said before, I think it was this and the bodice, about 120 hours of me beading. The bodice is full of appliques that are all beaded and everything. So that obviously took a good chunk, and then this is, I think, 5 meters long of fabric, so obviously all of that took time as well. So I said these beads were for Emily's one I'm using, and that these are the same beads I've realised, so I can just use them first if I ran out that. I've got pink, so 2 blues there, and then a lighter blue there of beads that I can put. My plan is to put these more high up the skirt because the beads only just go just up the lace with some pink pearls. And then as here, that black box, you can see the trim is Lady Jessica's top. The skirt is now, dress of it, is now nearly completely done. I've literally just got the facings, which are all pinned. They were sewn in, they've been turned the right way around and they're pinned in place, so I've got to sew them. And the hem's all been cut, so it's literally just a case of double hemming that as I'm sewing. And then, like I said, the dress is done, so that's very cool. So I am going to get started on some stuff for today. Hey everyone, so quick update, it is now 2 o'clock, so it's been about 2 hours, 2.5 since I last gave an update. I haven't done any sewing yet, but I have managed to get through the first, I think it's, yep, I'm on chapter 4, so I've managed to read the 3 chapters of A Court of Thorns and Roses today, so that is a lot of progress for what I wanted. So that is, like I said, my goal for today of reading. I wanted to try and get a couple of chapters a day done, so that is done. I am going to quickly go to my mum's room to drop something off, and then I'm going to do some sewing. I just still need to pick what I'm going to do and how. So I will be back in a bit. Everyone, so this is probably the worst angle I've filmed, and it is, you'll probably hear the fan which you can see going off. It's 10:30 on Wednesday. The sleeves of Emily, which you can see there, all the leaves of all four parts, because both the front and the back of both sleeves have it, and I've started removing the petals of one of them, so I'm hoping to get all that done today. As you can see, the weather is not nice. Yesterday it was bright beaming sun, and I had planned to go with my mum to the park, which is literally the other side of that car park nearly, so it's like a 2-3 minute walk. But we stupidly decided to walk to a harvester yesterday for dinner. It took a ridiculously long time, which is why my it's called a rollerator, I call it my walker just to be easy there, is in my room. It was too much walking, especially since it took us so long to get there. By the time we did, because no one was in there, the harvester shut early, so we decided to have a late dinner to get some other stuff done during the day, which took longer, so we didn't end up actually leaving here until I think it was about 8:15. We got to the harvester about 9:15, and they were already, the kitchen was already closed and they were cleaning up, so we should have just driven there and we would have been there in time. But we decided that try and do just some healthy walking, because even though it does hurt, I do have to try and get some exercise and that in, so that my joints don't give even more. And like I said, unfortunately, closer we had to then obviously walk back, and we for some reason, me and my mum, hornets love us, so we had those keep trying to fly into our hair and our faces on the way back, which was not fun. So we ended up just having I ended up just having a pot noodle for dinner last night at like 11 o'clock, and it was not too satisfying, because whatever way it was had carrots in, and I can't eat carrots, so I had to pick all those out. And that it is, like I said, 10:30, and I have just got back because we have a Toby literally like a 1 minute walk from the hotel we are staying in. So we decided to go there because they have an all-you-can-eat breakfast, and I was obviously really hungry because I didn't eat all day yesterday, except for that, like I said, what was essentially a pot noodle at night. So we decided to have that. So yeah, literally just got a massive breakfast. The room is, like I said, absolutely hot and muggy as hell, which is why the fan is on, the windows are open. But I said it's meant to be raining, which is just going to make the mugginess worse. And it's been spitting all morning, and apparently the temperature is obviously going to go up during the middle of the day. So I don't know if we are going to the park today now, or if we might have to wait. We'll have to see for that. So yeah, I'm, like I said, just got back from breakfast. Was really nice. So I'm just going to sit here and do some reading for probably 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get back to Emily. Like I said, I did actually manage to get the bits for the sleeves. I did and have been posting in my story, so some people might have seen that. And I did, like I said, get 3 chapters of a Court of Thorns and Roses done. So I'm hoping to probably, like I said, get at least 1 or 2 chapters of that done, and Emily's sleeves. But I had, like I said, hoped to take some of my art supplies and do some sketching and photographs at the park. I don't know if that's going to happen. We're going to see about later in the day. Like I said, it is literally, that's the car park outside the window, and it's literally, the park is there on the other side of the car park nearly. So we will see how the day goes, and I will update anyone later. So, hey everyone, so I'm doing the end now of my vlog. As I said, originally it was meant to be 2 weeks that we were going to be in that hotel. It ended up being just 1 week back home, and I will say, excuse my Britishness, they hodgepodged the whole thing. The toilet broke on pretty much its first use. There is no mirror, there is no toilet roll holder. They've both been taken out, didn't put any back in. The floor isn't right, isn't put down properly. The walls, while they look nice, it's very obvious that they didn't actually do any proper patching. They literally just did that to cover it. They moved the drain, but they've moved it closer to the door, so it's causing problems. The door itself wasn't even replaced. It was literally just painted over, despite the fact that it was rotting. So the whole actual door frame needs to be replaced because the wood is rotten. They did replace the floor in the hallway, and again, there's problems with that. The shower, well, as far as we can tell, they've put it on upside down, because instead of going from cold and you turning the dial like from the bottom round, up like to turn up the temperature, and you could push in the red button and turn it even higher, up to from 9 upwards to make it even hotter. The dial doesn't do that now, so as far as we can tell, they've put it on upside down, and it goes the other way. And 4, 5 and 6, which is the temperatures that we use all the time, don't actually work and aren't a function. So the water is either ice cold or boiling hot. So the shower is basically still completely unusable. Put into that, the toilet seat is actually too high. Now, the main point is this is a disabled house. So it's meant to be adaptable for a person in a wheelchair, which is what my mum is. But even me, who uses like a walker and that and a stick around the house, I'm on my tiptoes when I'm sitting on the toilet. They've actually raised too high. So my mum, who's 1, even shorter than me, 2, is in the wheelchair. It is now, instead of just being able to get out of the chair onto the toilet, it's now higher. So that causes more problems. So no idea what they did, but they've just, like I said, they hodgepodged it. Originally, it turned out the surveyor said to do everything that room needs would take 4 weeks. We originally then got told, nope, they can do it in 2 weeks. And obviously, to try and save money, they basically just went for as little work as possible and slammed it out in a couple of days. My mum still can't even actually use the bathroom right now, because despite what they said, the glue smell still has not completely gone. They actually got told it needed at least 4 days before mum could move back in because of the glue smell. They gave it 2, and even then it was. So my mum can't actually even go in the toilet right now, and we think it's going to be another day or 2 before she can actually use it. I am actually filming this, Sunday night. So what we did is, because you'll probably see some videos, I was out with my dad in London for Father's Day on Sunday, and obviously my mum couldn't move back in on her own. So what we did is, me and my dad packed everything up into the car that we wouldn't need Sunday morning, and brought it back home. And then my mum obviously just came here Sunday morning. We dropped off the rest of the stuff, and we've gone to London. My mum is obviously moving back in. Like I said, luckily, while the bath still doesn't work. They didn't even try to fix the upstairs bath like they said they would. The toilet does still work, so she can use that at least. Like I said, we have already sent a message, but considering we are still 6 months later waiting for them to fix the oven that broke on Christmas Day, I have very little hope that anything in the bathroom is actually going to get fixed soon. But we'll see how that goes. So, like I said, I am now going to bed. I'm going to recover from, obviously today where I was in London. It is a lot for me to walk around, even with the walker that's helping brakes and all that. I do usually end up at least in bed most of the day, if not sometimes the whole day, with more having to take more painkillers than normal on days like that. So I will be probably not posting anything Monday because of the heat as well. I haven't got anything pre-filmed, so I'm going to try and do filming Tuesday, if not Wednesday. So I have no idea when I'm actually going to be posting anything. Like I said, my room is literally ridiculously hot. The whole house is. We've actually had to buy another fan because the two we have, obviously, are in my parents' room. Because I don't sleep during the night anyway, I'm usually awake, so they're using them. So we've ordered a new one to go into my room. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that is everything. And like I said, we knew they would. They hodgepodge to do as little work as possible, as quickly as possible. So see how it goes. But I did enjoy being in the hotel. It was a bit disappointing we didn't get to do anything we planned. We were going to go to the park one of the days. Obviously that didn't happen because obviously we ended up moving home quicker than I thought, and all of the days that we planned to go, it was far too hot, and obviously we have a dog, so couldn't exactly take her to the park when it is bright sun that she wouldn't have been able to walk on the pavement or anything to get there. So we are planning on going possibly later in the year again, because it is a local park anyway. It's not like we went in town, we could just go. So that was that. And it turned out from the hotel we were at, the seafront was about a mile and a bit. So on its own, that would probably have been about a 3-mile walk, which is far too much for me to do. So I didn't end up going to the arcade. And obviously, like I said, I thought we had no week, so it's not like I went to town either. Because there was 2 minutes from the hotel or bus stop that I could have taken a quick bus into town. But so yeah, we are back in house. Problems already with the bathroom, which again, knew was going to happen. But back into it, so I'm hoping to be able to start filming because of our neighbour being an arse as well. I have to do a load of voiceover stuff, so probably when I'm filming, I've got to film it and then voice over them afterwards. So it goes. I will see everybody later.